I am Zola Dube, and my people come from KwaZulu. And I'm going to tell you a story that is told in Southern Africa, but I believe it's a story that is told throughout Africa. And I just want to give people a sense of orientation. In Zulu society, the right hand is associated with masculinity, and the left hand is associated with femininity. And if you were to even put your hands together, you would see that the right side is slightly bigger than the left. And, you know, I'm a beater. So one of the things that you'll also find is that the right hand is the hand of strength, and the left hand is the hand of not weakness, but tenderness. And I can't imagine doing my beadwork, or even if you think about anything that you do with your hands, without the right hand and the left hand. And another aspect of, I believe, African society at large is that we are a genderless people. There's no such thing as he and she. We speak of person so-and-so. And there is less emphasis on he and she and male and female, because at the end of the day, the two have to come together in order to do different things in life. There is no such thing as the individual. The man doesn't exist alone, the woman doesn't exist alone. And the basic unit of African society is the family. So with that background, I'm going to tell the story of an African family. So an African family had left their village to go and visit members of their family in another village. So it's a man, his wife, and their child. So along their journey, there was a wild animal, and this wild animal was threatening the family. And so the husband was equipped with how to handle these situations. He had his weapons to protect the family from this beast. But he looked to his wife and he said, "Oh, wife, you know what? I know that you have the power to transform yourself quickly and to assist us in this situation. And so I'm asking you, please just transform yourself into a more fierce beast, a more frightful beast, to frighten him away quickly, because I know you can do it quickly. And I'm really tired right now. I just want to get us home." She looks at him and says, "But husband, you are the man. This is your duty. This is your responsibility. Do not ask me to do this thing." And he's like, no, please do it. And she's like, "My husband, you're not going to like me anymore if you see me in that way. So please, do your job and handle the situation." He says, "Oh, my wife, please, just this once. And at this point, you know, it's turning into a very frightful situation, because now it's a question of life or death. So she needs to take action. So she says, fine. And she transforms herself into a beast that is more fearful, that is more dangerous than the beast that is threatening the family. And the beast immediately takes off and runs away. And the family is now no longer in danger of the beast that is now gone. At this point, the husband is like, "Okay, wifey, it's over now. You can come back to yourself. You can come back to being a woman." She continues to growl and is looking menacing at her own husband and the baby. And he's like, "Wife, please, please, the danger is gone now. You can turn back into who you are." And she's growling and looking menacing still. And so it reaches a point where he's so afraid, and the baby's screaming and crying and is inconsolable. He tries to hold the baby to get the baby to stop crying. Eventually, he puts the baby on his back with imbelego, which is another Zulu story. Puts the baby on the back, straps the baby up, and runs into a tree, runs up to a tall tree in order to be safe. The wife, still in the beastly form, is circling the bottom of the tree and growling at both the husband and the baby. And he's begging her, please, 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 I made a mistake. I should not have asked you to do this job. And she says to him, listen, if you want me to turn back, you must never, ever, ever ask me to stop being a woman. Never ask me to stop being tender. And so she says to him, he says to her, my wife, I will never do this again. I will never ask you to do this again. And so she immediately transforms back into his wife. And the child and the father come down. And life goes on. And the moral of the story is twofold, especially as Africans who are moving into a greater space of globalization where Western thought and Western values are so predominant, that we mustn't lose sight of the difference between men and women. And this is not to say that, just like the left and the right-hand side, it's not to say that the masculine side is superior to the feminine side. For that matter, as men, as women, we both have the masculine side and the feminine side, and they must come together and work together in order to get work done. But the hand of tenderness is a very powerful and a very strong side of who we are as human beings, but particularly as who we are as women. And however life goes for us moving forward as Africans, as we become global, we really need to be mindful of ideas like feminism, which really have no place in our psyche. It's not to say that they are not challenges within African society, but we're certainly not going to get better if we are to become women who want to position ourselves as being the same as men. We are not the same as men. In as much as men must continue to be strong in themselves as men. I'm not saying that gotta be macho men. I'm simply saying that there is a balance that needs to be maintained between men and women. Thank you.